these kind of fingerprints start adding up over time. The first time oftentimes they'll catch you unawares, even if you're in recovery from this stuff, even if you've been doing the healing work. But it's still like, wait, what? You told me that you were abused by your parents, and now you're leaving your child over there overnight or for the weekend, or letting them go off with your parents for like a week or two. What the fuck is that, dude? What the fuck is that? That is somebody who actually has narcissism or BPD or other cluster B disorders, trying to gain your confidence for whatever reason. In my case, it has to do with like a huge multi-million-dollar suit and criminal conspiracy and all kinds of other shit. But you know, they all have their own reasons. It depends on your scenario. These are the kind of things that don't make sense. I've had a handful of these very similar to that, because I'm actually in the healing process of my journey, and the primary narc in my case knows pretty much everything in my life because of how intimately we were connected some time back, and because of their professional training in these matters. It's really yucky. It's really fucking yucky. The kind of shit that it should just never happen, which is why they have boards of ethics and professional organizations and things to manage this stuff, and laws. But they don't catch all of them. And unfortunately, in positions of power, in medicine, in politics, in law, and even in psychology and mental health stuff, there's a higher percentage of people on the cluster B spectrum, because positions of power. That's what they like. They like having power over others, and they like being able to do their games and get away with it, and for people to have no way to fight back or even to recognize it in so many cases. Oftentimes it just goes unnoticed. And there's people that, what is this lady's name? I see her channel come on sometimes. She's been a victim of the most horrific stuff, but she was talking about it yesterday on Cinco de Mayo. The power structures are set up to turn around and abuse the victims even worse. This is another thing that I was thinking of. When you're dealing with narcissists, another one of the linguistic things, when you're talking about the abuse, they're claiming to be healing/healed, and then you're talking to them about this stuff, and then instead of affirming and confirming and, you know, having an empathetic bond with you, they'll start gaslighting you. They'll say, are you sure? Are you sure about this? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about blah, 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 X, Y, and Z? Which in normal cases is important that we do that. But when you're dealing with narcissists, further gaslighting is not what people need. More gaslighting, more abuse, more doubting of yourself and what actually happened. I'm just going to let this one roll. That's what abusers do. That's not what healthy and healed people do. So when that kind of shit starts coming up, you know, you're probably dealing with one of them. Especially when it's somebody who claims to have been through the exact same freaking things as you. Somebody who's healed would not do that. If there's a deep, empathetic, honest connection established, and there's desire for mutual conversation, if you say, hey, I want to make sure that I'm perceiving this right. Can you help me? Here's the facts of the situation as I understood it or as I experienced it. And if you have another healthy person, a healthy, safe person reflecting things back for you, they'll help you go through those things. They're not going to gaslight you in the process. They're not going to lead with gaslighting when they claim to have been through narcissistic abuse, have narcissistic parents, have a narcissistic ex, etc. And so all of these people that have been involved in my life in the past like 18 months, especially when the campaign has been full force, all of them have come in, popped up out of the woodworks, said things along these lines. Hey, my ex is a narc, 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 blah, 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 blah. And then they give the whole spiel of whatever the actual narc in my life told them to say. They have a whole list. They have all their talking points. And these people come in pretending to be a friend, pretending to be in recovery, pretending to have narc or BPD or abusive or psychopathic parents, pretending to be in recovery is a big one more recently. And they'll act like it, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, sometimes for a couple of years, before the script flips 180. Not like a little detail gets dropped here and there. Not like there's a little bit of change in tone or something like that. It's a 180 fucking complete psychic dissonance, emotional whiplash. Fucking like a car crash out of nowhere. I have enough space for most of these people, and I've done enough work on myself over the years, over the decades now. In recovery, especially in NPD abuse recovery, is more recent, but I've done enough work that when it happens, I know exactly, like, you can't get that shit by me. I know where it comes from. I know that anybody in recovery from anything would not turn around and dump this shit on me and say the kind of things that these people have said. And every single one of them has a script from the same person. To me, it's kind of pathetic how obvious it is. But when you're in the middle of it and when you don't have any space from it, it's extremely destructive and confusing. The cognitive dissonance and the intent of these people is to give you a complete mental breakdown. That's their intent. And some of them are really good at it. Some of them have studied for years or decades how to do that to people. And generally, they only take on vulnerable people that are already having problems, people that already have trauma, whatever it might be in various cases. They won't take on a healthy person. Most of them. The extreme psychopaths and sociopaths, they like to take down big targets. You know, that's just their whole thing. It's more thrilling to them. It's more pleasurable. But anyways, if you're dealing with these mofos, that's one of the ways you can tell. Is, you know, this stuff is very active in my life. I was thinking about this morning, especially as I was waking up after a pretty sweet dream last night. Didn't remember too much of it. I've been remembering more dreams lately, man. It's powerful stuff. But yeah, the narcs, dude. The narcs, same shit. It's always the same goddamn shit. They're like, hey, look at me. Oh, look, I'm just like you. Oh, I want to do this now. I want to do all these things for you. I want to do all these things for you. I want to do all these things for you. But they're narcs. They can't do anything for you. If you're on a path of healing and with God, they can't do anything for you. They can't reflect you because they don't know who the fuck you are. They can't help you because they're not on the same mission. They can't do fucking anything for you except tear you down and destroy you at some point. And that will be revealed. That will be revealed when they do their switch, their 180 switch, the idealize into value, by whatever name you want to call it. There's got to be a better name for that, man, because it's absolute soul rape. They're trying to destroy your fucking soul and your capacity to function in the world. That's what they're doing. They're trying to do it without a physical weapon. But the way that they do it, the mental, emotional, spiritual weapons, the financial weapons, the social weapons that they use are absolutely just as damaging. And they absolutely destroy people's life, people's capacity, people's health, people's sanity. There are laws around this, but other than like physical abuse and violent assault, and even those almost never get prosecuted to what they should be. Police functionality is about 13%. Between 13 and 19% of crimes get solved and prosecuted. So you're almost guaranteed to lose in any situation where you actually need them, where you need them to do their fucking job. The rates are just reversed. Imagine if that was us. If we went through school getting between a 13 and 18% or 19%, like below 20% all year, every year, demanding that the teachers passed us, put us in the next class, give us teaching jobs, give us money, give us this, give us that, but we can't even do the fucking work that we're there for. Imagine if the tables were turned. That's the police, dude. That's the police everywhere in this fucking country. Almost absolutely fucking useless. Almost 100% failure rate. And that's the best they have. That's the best we can do, according to them. Fucking joke. Those aren't my numbers. I'm not just making this stuff up. And anything you hear from me, some of the stuff is my theories, but it's based on reality. You can go look at the numbers if you want. If you want, I can direct you. But we have Google. Everyone's known how to use Google for 25, 30 years at this point. So do it. Do it if you need to. Yeah, dude. That's what we're dealing with. That's the reality of this modern era, this modern culture. And then when you speak up about anything, you get blamed for their failure most of the time. Thus, the abuse cycle continues through society and through all these institutions that are just absolute failures. Absolute fucking worthless in almost every case. Sucking up all the resources, all the life, all the energy from our society and from the people of our society, using us like batteries, aka Matrix. Hello, baby. Invisible, dude. Invisible right in front of us. Most people jacked right into it, not even realizing it. But where did I go? Where was I before that side? Yeah, narcs, dude. Narcs are some nasty little critters. Some nasty little critters, but if you're paying attention, they'll start dropping the hints like this here and there. In my case, it's obvious because I've been on the recovery journey for a long time. So when these people, like, when the script flips and when they start saying things from somebody else's mouth, I know that stench very, very well. I haven't had it anywhere near me for years. So when it just pops out of nowhere, obviously I'm gonna pick it up. 11. I know exactly where that shit comes from, man. But it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me, and this is a very common thing. They'll come in and claim to have the same background as you, the same parents. Like they share a child with a narcissist, etcetera, and then you'll find them doing and saying things that if it was true what they were doing, there's absolutely no way in hell, no way in heaven or on earth that they would be doing and saying those things, especially like leaving their kids with people that committed SA and abuse and all kinds of stuff against them. If that's true, if that was true of your parents, I mean, sometimes, yes, people are locked into these situations, especially if you're financially dependent, if you're in a small town, things like that. Sometimes it happens, but the people doing this wouldn't be doing it just joyfully and like laissez-faire and like, oh yeah, whatever, after telling you that they had gone through all this stuff and all the same shit as you. Nope. People in recovery coming in and just blasting you with a diarrhea cannon straight from Satan, having nothing to do with recovery, everything to do with the opposite of recovery. Power and control and domination. Power, control, domination. Power, control, domination. AKA narcs and psychopaths, their exclusive concerns. Which, funny enough, being in recovery is a superpower now, because all of those things are the opposite of recovery. Recovery is based on compassion, empathy, self-ownership, looking in the mirror, etc., and ultimately love and compassion for ourselves and others, and giving up power and control to God as we understand God. You know, that looks a lot of different ways for different people, depending on what kind of spiritual path you're on or what kind of religious traditions you might have grown up with or not grown up with. But if you're living your life for love every day, then you're on the path. You're on the path with God, you know. That's how I see it. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a good day. Morning thoughts. I'm still getting into my caffeine, my AM caffeine. 1, 3, 2, 4, which I would like to give up at some point. I've come pretty close, and I've it's way down. It's way down from where it used to be, but still a thing. Still a thing. Yeah, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for the turn of phrases, man. Some of them are tricky, dude. Some of them can wait a really, really long time before dropping the truth bomb of who they are and who they're working for. They can get their hooks in and do a lot of fucking damage in the meantime. Especially if they create a situation where kids are involved. Because then they know this, dude. This is one of their biggest ones, marriage and kids. That's the deepest hooks. Because then they've got 18 years with you. I had one of these try to create a situation a couple years back in the midst of all this other mess that was going on. And freaking lying, disgusting, nasty little critters, man. But that's what they'll do, so they can control you, because they don't care about kids, and they know that you do. They know that you love, that you have empathy, that you have care and concern. And they're both obsessed with it. 1444, they're obsessed with it, and they absolutely fucking hate it, which is a big part of why there's so much conflict all the time. They feel like you have power over them, even though you're not doing anything to them. You're just being who you are. They feel that, like, because you have love and you can function in the world, and you don't need to play all these games and destroy people for an energy source, they're jealous of you because of that. And this is a big source of their hatred and why they want to tear you down and fuck you up and destroy your light and end your life in many cases. They're putting the ball in your court. They're giving you all their power. They don't have any. They're claiming they do. They're claiming they're so powerful, but if they had any power, they wouldn't give a fuck about you or trying to destroy you, right? They would just be living their own life, doing their own thing. But we all know that narcs don't do that. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever. Because they don't have anything. There is no their own thing. Good thing I didn't try to do another short. It would have been a short batch. Long batch of shorts. Anyways, yeah, watch out for the turn of speech, dude. It always comes up sooner or later. It's part of the idealized value cycle. It's part of the soul rape and these motherfuckers, dude. These motherfuckers. I'll pray if you're healing from this, so you don't ever have to go through one of these again, man. And if you do, if you're in the midst of it with children, my heart is with you. Especially seeing them intentionally destroy your children for sport and pleasure. There's nothing more sickening in the fucking universe. There's nothing imaginable that's anything remotely like this. Anyways, I love you guys. Hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon.